the final call, and how we will use the final call this evening is allowing Chris Arnold to get into some CA stories.
Yeah, I always say appreciate the Tolos, appreciate you, Reg, appreciate you, Rico. Allow me to tell some of these stories. It is the holiday time of the year. Christmas is a couple of days away.
Christmas time
is here. That's one of my favorite Christmas songs, Charlie Brown Christmas. I was listening to KNC Masterpiece because I Tolo like everybody else, and they were doing some of their favorite Christmas songs. And they never mentioned one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs is Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder did a song way back in the day when he was little Stevie Wonder called Someday at Christmas. Have you ever heard this?
Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys.
Absolutely.
Little Stevie.
With bombs like kids play with toys.
I always loved that song when I was a little kid, and I loved all those other Christmas songs. And it made me think about Stevie Wonder. So I said, okay, let me do a series stories confidential about the times I have encountered Stevie Wonder. And yes, one of the best things that ever happened to me in my radio career was working at K104 for 30 years. And back in the day, K104 was more than just a music station. It was a full service station affiliated with the Associated Press. We had music, we had news, we had sports, we had weather, we had traffic, we had everything. And because we had everything, they allowed me to cover Super Bowls, Final Fours, NBA Finals, All-Star Games, soccer, World Cup, you name it, we were doing everything, boxing, everything. But because it's a music station, not only did I go to the concerts, get the tickets free, backstage passes to everything, just because it's a music station. And then all the biggest entertainers in the world, they would come out to the radio station. K104 is just moved to Arlington, across the street from Six Flags. It was out in Grand Prairie in the middle of nowhere, and we'd have the biggest stars in the world pull up in limousines in the middle of nowhere in Grand Prairie. The first time I'd ever met Stevie Wonder, there was a big concert at the Cotton Bowl with Stevie Wonder and Quincy Jones and Ashford and Simpson and Aretha Franklin, and they were all on the same bill.
Oh, what?
It was the Cotton Bowl, and it was, of course, so there had to be 75,000, 80,000 people there. And it was in the early 80s, and the promoter was Ed Too Tall Jones, former Cowboy great.
Oh, wow. He went into promotion.
He was doing it in off season. It was slinging that money.
Yeah, look, man, that was in a time where off season you make some more money.
I got a chance to meet Stevie Wonder back then and I got to actually watch him perform sitting on the stage. I had a folding chair sitting not 10 feet away from him.
That's incredible.
It was just absolutely amazing. And Stevie did what Stevie does. He just tore it up because the last act it was so much fun. Okay, so years later, working with the fly jock, Tom Joyner, who is a legend. He's in the National Radio Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Just retired a couple of years ago. Everybody in Dallas.
Well-earned retirement, mind you. Well-earned retirement.
Well-earned retirement. At one point, Tom became a national name because he was flying back and forth doing radio in the morning in Dallas and afternoon drive in Chicago every day. He'd just fly to Chicago after the show. Well, before he was flying back and forth, the year before that, we would go everywhere to all these different award shows. We'd go to the Grammy Awards. We'd go to the American Music Awards. We'd go to the Soul Train Music Awards. And Tom was such a big name because he was already doing stuff in Chicago. Then he came back to Dallas and was doing. So it was like, okay, we could go to any show. We were going to go to the Academy Awards one day. And then he just retired from Dallas and started doing the national syndication. show. But we were at the American Music Awards and we're backstage and Stevie Wonder comes by. And so we meet Stevie Wonder, take pictures with him, visit with him. And he said he's going to come to Dallas one day on concert tour again. And we can do something and he's going to come by the show. Well, back in those days, Tom would do this thing called a breakfast show. In other words, do a show from like a remote, like KNC's doing shows, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
And Sean and RJ may be doing it from a firehouse, right? We would call them breakfast shows and we would do them at different places. And a lot of times we did them at the Hyatt Regency Reunion, right there across the street from the Reunion Ball, right? One time we did it and we had Jermaine Jackson there and Tom had the brilliant idea of let's bring a bass guitar and maybe Jermaine will play it with us on the show.
There you go.
So we're interviewing Jermaine and Tom shows him this bass guitar and Jermaine said, oh, maybe a little bit later. And then the commercial break, Jermaine tells us, I don't know how to play the bass. I've been faking it. We're like, what?
No.
He said, Tito can really play the guitar, but I don't play the bass. We're like, what? I mean, I just shocked. I just thought he played the bass all these years.
Yeah.
We did a show from Fair Park at, I forget where it was in Fair Park. We did a show with LL Cool J and Mr. T, and it was great. Well, Stevie said he was coming to town. We did a show with Anita Baker. We're talking about breakfast shows where all the listeners could come and show up at whole 9 yards. Well, Anita Baker said, Stevie said he's coming to Dallas. And we're like, oh, great. We worked it out with the record company. We're going to do a breakfast show where Stevie is staying. He's staying at the Hyatt Regency.
Okay.
So it's perfect. We've done it before in one of the ballrooms. Stevie can just come downstairs and do the show. It'll be very convenient because, some artists
Make it
are
as
so
easy
big,
as possible.
they're not getting up in the morning. Stevie's so big, he's not going to go out to Grand Prairie. He's not. He
don't even
might
have
do it
to-
on the phone, but he ain't going to do it in person, right?
And not just doing it in the morning. It's like, even if during the day, if they don't feel like doing it, if it's at all inconvenient,
Yeah.
it'll be a problem.
It'll be a problem. And plus, Stevie's got these weird hours. Give me some Stevie music. Stevie has these, I just want to get the vibe. Turn it down a little bit. But Stevie kept these weird hours. Everybody knows Stevie Wonder's not on time for anything. He just has his own vibe, and he just kind of comes and goes that he wants. Although he owns a radio station in L.A. A buddy of mine works for Stevie.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Guy Black. Guy Black used to be on radio down here in Dallas. He works for Stevie, and he does stuff with Jamie Foxx. So he keeps me updated on Stevie, and Stevie goes everywhere with his harmonica just in case he wants to play his harmonica. He's always, and Stevie can drive. Did you
That's
know
right.
Stevie can drive?
I surmised it.
People wonder, can he see or not?
Stevie ain't blind.
That's what the rumor is.
Hashtag Stevie ain't blind.
But everybody says, Guy Black says he's blind for real. Even though I saw Eddie Murphy on YouTube, he was on the Tonight Show or Jimmy Kimmel, one of them, Jimmy Kimmel, and they were talking about Stevie Wonder. Eddie's got a Christmas movie coming out on Netflix.
Yeah, I did.
And
see
he
that.
said that Stevie walks around, snap his fingers all the time. And Eddie said when Stevie snaps his fingers, he can hear the sound if he's close to a wall. It just sounds good
now
to him.
Stevie's a bat echolocating. Okay.
That's what it is.
All right.
Daredevil.
He said that's the
Yeah,
deal.
He really is. He's Daredevil
said-
out here. Steve is a vigilante in
But
his
Eddie
off
said-
time. You don't know that.
Eddie said, though, but one day Shaq told me, he said, man, I was in the elevator.
Yup.
And Stevie walked in and said, what's up, Shaq?
Yeah, I saw that story, and that's just one of many things that leads me to believe
That he might be able to say.
Stevie's out here seeing stuff.
I can tell you the times that I've met him, he cannot see as far as I know. Okay, so our big plan was, okay, we're going to bring the show to Stevie, have a breakfast show in the ballroom.
Yes.
Stevie's got the penthouse in the Hyatt Regency. Okay, there's one small caveat. Stevie's performing in Shreveport the night before. So like our show is going to be on Friday. That Thursday he's performing in Shreveport. But Stevie's already said he's going to come downstairs and do the show. But we're like, he might be tired and just do it on the phone.
Right.
He might, who knows? He's playing in Shreveport. He's not already in Dallas. Well, guess what? We got to do the morning show. So we're there at 5 in the morning. Show starts at 5:30. We're on until 9 because Tom has to catch a plane to go to Chicago
Right.
at 11 o'clock. And he's got to go out to DFW Airport and fly to Chicago. Cannot miss this plane. We get there. Stevie's bus is not there yet. And we're like, what? Where's Stevie? Stevie hadn't arrived yet. He was hanging out in Shreveport.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
But they said, we know he's on his way because he said he's going to be here.
Because
And
he's
they
driving
left.
a bus. Yeah.
No, he's not driving.
Oh, my bad. My bad. All right. That's my fault.
Well, the bus gets there at around 6:30. Turns out we have a piano set up for Stevie to play. We know Stevie can play the piano. We know Jermaine Jackson didn't know how to play the bass, but we know Stevie can play the piano. So we got this piano, and Tom's like, and maybe he'll actually sing on the show. We'll have the piano ready in case he's in the mood. So we kept talking about this. Stevie arrives, and he goes in the back way in the whole 9 yards, and we get word Stevie's listening to the show. And he definitely wants to perform.
Oh.
And we're like, all right, he's definitely going to come downstairs and he wants to perform because he thought it's so funny that we got the piano, we got a crowd, because all the listeners are there. And so we're waiting. And then guess what? Here comes Stevie's sound engineer. And the sound engineer says, Stevie wants to set up his keyboards. Oh my God. He's going to bring in his speakers, his keyboard, and we got to make it match up with our engineers so it can go on the air.
Right.
And they're doing this at like 8 o'clock.
And it's like, all right, we only got so much time.
Tom's got to leave at 9.
Right.
He's got to catch a plane to Chicago. Stevie's still upstairs. His equipment is set up. We got it matched into the studio, so everything's all ready for him. We're talking to people in the crowd. We're asking him what's their favorite Stevie song because we know he's listening up in his room. Stevie still doesn't come down. We even say, Stevie, we got breakfast for you. We found out what he likes to eat. Stevie still hadn't come down. It is now 10 minutes to 9. And Tom is like, I've got to leave at 9. And hopefully traffic's not bad.
Right.
We've got, we do traffic from, like I said, news, sports, weather, traffic. We got our traffic. Alicia Speeds, that's her name. Wink, wink. Lisa Speeds, doing the helicopter, everyday helicopter. She said, Tom, the traffic's good. You ought to be able to make this thing. But we only got 5 minutes of Stevie.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, Tom says, F it. I'm staying in Dallas. Stevie comes down. He does 5 songs. He does interviews. We sing along with him at the keyboard. It's a hell of a show. And I got to sing with Stevie Wonder on the radio with Tom Joyner live on that breakfast show.
What'd you sing?
Just whatever he
All
was
of
singing.
them? Okay.
Whatever. Just sing along. I didn't have the mic open. Sing along with I'm going to mess up Stevie.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, right? When you got a voice so iconic and strong.
And he answered questions, and he was rocking from side to side. He did the whole 9 yards. And then, of course, he performed later at Reunion Arena. He's been to Dallas a number of times. I've seen him in concert so many times. Stevie is one of my top 3 favorite artists ever. And I love the way he sings. But one thing about him, he's always got his harmonica ready, and he's always ready to perform at any time. Cher, we mentioned Cher's got a new Christmas song. She does that song with Stevie Wonder on that album too.
There you go.
And there's your CA Stories Confidential.